All right, let's cut right through all the noise. Forget the fluff, forget all the get-rich-quick nonsense you see online. What we're going to do today is lay out a direct, no BS blueprint for how you can earn your first $10,000 online, even if you're starting from scratch. So let's just dive right in.
You know, if you spend even 5 minutes online, you're going to get bombarded with the stuff on the left, right? The guru promises. Get rich with crypto. Day trading is easy. Start a dropshipping empire overnight. Look, the reality is, that stuff is often super complex, the profit margins are tiny, and it's just incredibly risky. We're not doing that. We're going to focus on what's on the right. This is about building a business on a real skill and selling a high-profit service. It might not sound as flashy, but trust me, it's a much more reliable path to actually building something that lasts.
Okay, so the absolute first step, the foundation of this whole thing, really comes down to one single critical decision. It's about the business model you choose. And the entire blueprint we're talking about today, it all rests on this one simple idea. When you're just starting out, selling a service almost always crushes selling a product. Let me show you why.
I mean, just look at this. The numbers on this chart really tell the whole story, don't they? With a typical product business, you're lucky if you keep 20 cents for every dollar you make. There's cost of goods, shipping, inventory. It just eats away at your profit. But with an online service, you're selling your skill. Your costs are practically zero, and that means your profit margin can be a massive 75%, sometimes even more.
Yeah, let's just pause on that for a second. 70 to 80%. That's the number we're aiming for. Think about what that actually means. For every single dollar that comes in, you're putting 70 to 80 cents of it right in your pocket. This isn't a small detail. This is the financial engine that makes that whole $10,000 goal feel, not just possible, but actually predictable.
So when I say high-margin online service, what are we actually talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a skill that you have that you can sell directly to clients online. Stuff like copywriting, web development, video editing, you name it. The absolute key here is that you are the product. There's no inventory to store, no boxes to ship. It's just you and your skill, which means almost no overhead, all profit.
Okay, so hopefully you're on board with the whole services idea. It just makes sense, right? But the big question is, how? How do you actually build this thing from the ground up? Well, that's where our roadmap comes in. We're going to use a simple but really powerful framework I like to call the skill pyramid.
And here it is. This pyramid is basically your step-by-step guide. We start at the bottom with a solid foundation, which is positioning. From there, we build up with leverage. Then we expand our reach. And finally, right at the peak, we get to automation. The thing to remember is that each level builds on the one before it. You can't skip steps. It's really important to do them in this order.
All right, so let's get into the good stuff. We're going to break this whole thing down and actually start climbing the pyramid, one level at a time, starting right at the very bottom.
Step 1 is positioning. And listen, this is so important. This is not about trying to be the best graphic designer in the entire world. It's about being the best graphic designer for a very specific somebody. So instead of saying, hey, I'm a writer, you say, I write email newsletters for direct-to-consumer coffee brands. See the difference? You specialize. You find a specific type of client with a specific problem, and you position yourself as the only logical choice for them.
Okay, so once you're perfectly positioned as the expert for that specific client, now you can move up to level 2, leverage. This is where you stop trading your time for money. It's all about packaging your skill into a high-value, irresistible offer. So you're not just selling your time for like $50 an hour anymore. No. You're selling a result, a $2,000 website launch package that solves that client's exact problem. It's a total game changer.
But, and this is probably the question popping into your head right now, right? It's the one everybody asks. Okay, great, I'm positioned, I have this amazing offer, but where do the clients actually come from? How do I find people who will pay for this? Well, the answer to that is the next level up, reach. This is where you stop passively waiting for clients to hopefully find you, and you start building actual systems to go out and get them. This means doing some direct outreach, sure, but it also means creating content that gives value away for free and shows you're an expert. And over time, you build a network that starts sending opportunities directly to you.
And then finally, you get to the very top of the pyramid, automation. Now this only happens after you've really nailed the first 3 levels. This is where you start building systems and processes so your business can grow without you needing to put in more of your own hours. Your income is no longer tied directly to your time. This could be anything.
Maybe creating a small online course, or using templates to do your work way faster, or even hiring a virtual assistant to handle the boring stuff. This is how you really scale.
So there you have it. We've climbed the entire pyramid. Now let's just take a second here at the summit and look back down at the whole blueprint and just summarize it into the absolute essentials.
Okay, so let's recap the whole thing. Super simple. 1. Position yourself. Define your niche. 2. Leverage. Create an offer they can't refuse. 3. Reach. Build systems to find clients consistently. And 4. Automate. Scale your income beyond the hours in your day. That's it. That's the blueprint.
And all of this really just brings us to one final and honestly most important question. And this one's for you to answer. Because this blueprint, it works. It's a proven path. But it has to start with a skill. So I want you to really think about it. What's your $10,000 skill?